what's good, my pack? What would happen if Wolverine, the best he is, the best there is at what he does, and what he does isn't pretty, took on one of horror icon's greatest slashers, one of them, Jason Voorhees. This was another one that was sent to me. I'm forgetting by who. That's why I always tell you guys to please put, if you're emailing me these things, please put who you are, because I don't know who to give credit to for this. But we're gonna check this out. We're gonna see what this is all about. And so today we're gonna be checking out Wolverine versus Jason Voorhees, Logan's worst nightmare. We'll see freaking about that, because we'll see. But anyway, let's check this out. Here we go. Now.
The rain came down in relentless sheets. My bag felt heavier with every step.
Okay, so this is
straps digging into my shoulders.
I guess an
I'd left
AI story.
Friends,
I don't mind, but
all of it to escape a past I couldn't bear to relive. Charles had given me the usual lecture about staying where I was needed, how my abilities could benefit both mutants and humans alike. But solitude was my answer, as it always had been. And that was why I found myself walking this desolate stretch of highway, with nowhere in particular to go. The forest loomed dark and foreboding on my right. And
why is his claws out, though?
I thought about turning in. Just ahead, I spotted a rest stop nestled among the trees, barely visible at first glance. I hesitated. Places like that brought back memories I didn't want to confront. Shaking my head, I pressed on, the rain pelting harder as the night grew darker. Midnight came and went, and the road stretched endlessly ahead of me. The idea of cutting through the forest started to seem like a better option, quieter, safer from prying eyes. I veered off the road.
It keeps changing.
Dense canopy of trees.
His look keeps changing. AI is weird, like
better than nothing. After about 15 minutes of trudging,
why is his claws out?
I stopped by an old, rusted sign and sat down to rest.
Alright, so we know that Logan is in Jersey.
I fished a sandwich from my pack. As I ate, I glanced at the sign beside me. Crystal Lake, 2 miles. The name sparked something in the back of my mind, but I dismissed it. Too tired to care. I finished my food and moved on. A few minutes later, I stumbled upon a cave. A welcome shelter from the unrelenting storm. But as I approached the mouth, I froze. A low growl rumbled from inside, and a massive grizzly bear emerged, its eyes gleaming with aggression. I didn't want to fight him.
Grizzly in Jersey? Not likely.
Charged, swiping upon the
black bear, yes. Grizzly, no.
Me crashing into a tree, my claws unsheathing instinctively. I didn't want to kill it, but I had to defend myself. With a single powerful strike, I slashed across its face, drawing blood. The bear roared in pain and retreated, disappearing into the woods. I felt a pang of guilt as I entered the now empty cave.
He's got 4
but
claws.
I needed rest more than anything. Sleep came reluctantly.
AI, man.
When I woke, the storm had passed, but the forest felt eerily still. I ventured out to explore, hoping to scavenge some food. My path led me to the edge of Crystal Lake Camp. Families, teenagers, and older couples wandered the area, their laughter and chatter a stark contrast to the quiet dread gnawing at my gut. I stayed hidden in the shadows, watching. My appearance wasn't exactly inviting, and the last thing I needed was attention. A scream shattered the peaceful scene, cutting through the air like a blade. My muscles tensed as I spotted a girl sprinting toward a group of campers, her face pale and streaked with tears. The town's police chief was among them, his presence doing little to calm her. Through her sobs, she explained that her boyfriend had gone missing the night before.
Oh boy, here we go.
Near the lake, when he'd left to use the bathroom. He never came back. I clenched my fists, the implications.
Yeah, he looks like Arnold
A lone young man
Schwarzenegger.
vanished in the woods. My presence here would raise questions I didn't want to answer. Before anyone could notice me, I slipped away, grabbing what food I could from abandoned picnic baskets on my way back to the cave.
So he's a thief now, huh?
Until evening, restless and uneasy. The bear's cries shattered the silence, just as I was drifting to sleep. It was different this time. A sound of pain, not aggression. I bolted from the cave, following the mournful howls through the trees. When I found the grizzly, it was lying on its side, blood pooling beneath its massive body. The wounds were deep and precise, not the work of a hunter. Someone, or something, had attacked it with a blade. A scream pierced the night, closer this time. My heart raced as I sprinted toward the sound, crashing through the undergrowth. I stopped short when I saw him. A towering figure stood amidst the bushes, his clothes tattered, his face obscured by a hockey mask. In his hand was a long
There he is.
machete. Jason Voorhees. The stories came rushing back. Tales of a relentless killer haunting these woods. Campfire legends whispered in fear. And now he was standing just a few feet away. He turned toward me, his hollow gaze locking onto mine. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then I saw her, a girl crouched behind a tree, paralyzed with terror. I motioned for her to run.
You're
No, I hissed,
his claws.
voice barely audible over the pounding rain. Jason took a step forward, his machete glinting in the moonlight.
Cut his head off. That's it.
My claws, the metallic snick breaking the tense silence. This was no ordinary fight. Jason's legend was as much about his immortality as his brutality.
Now wait a minute.
Choice. If I didn't stop him, more people would die. The girl bolted, her scream fading into the distance as Jason lunged. I met his attack head on, our clash reverberating through the forest. His strength was monstrous, each swing of his machete sending shockwaves up my arms as I parried with my claws. Blood sprayed as I landed a strike across his chest, but he didn't falter. He didn't even flinch.
Cut his fucking head off.
Dragged on, each of us landing brutal blows. My healing factor kept me on my feet.
He's got 4 claws again.
He was something else entirely. No matter how deep my claws sank, he kept coming, relentless.
Cut his hands and his head off, Logan. That's it.
Trees splintering and earth churning beneath our feet. Finally, I managed to knock him back, sending him crashing into a tree, gasping for breath. I prepared for his next attack, but he didn't move. Instead, he tilted his head, as if listening to something in the distance. Without a word, he turned and vanished into the shadows, leaving me alone in the wreckage of our fight. I didn't relax until the first light of dawn broke through the trees. The girl's screams, the bear's wounds, Jason's unyielding presence.
Why would he just run? Jason runs away?
Crystal Lake wasn't just a
Who
place
is-
of legends.
Was Mama calling him?
Nightmares. And I was right in the middle of it. I leaned against the damp, jagged walls of the cave, the ache in my muscles easing as my healing factor worked its magic. My wounds from the night before were already sealing, but the weight of what I'd seen gnawed at me. Jason Voorhees. I'd heard the name whispered in half-forgotten legends and yellowed newspaper clippings. A monster haunting the shadows of Crystal Lake. A nightmare that shouldn't exist. Yet there he was. And now, I was tangled up in his bloody trail. Sleep didn't come easy, but exhaustion pulled me under eventually. The plan formed in my head as I drifted off. Find the girl, learn what she knew, and end Jason's reign of terror. I woke to the cave cloaked in pitch darkness. It didn't matter what time it was. The night was enough to keep the townsfolk huddled indoors, locked behind their doors and prayers. It was Jason's hour, and I had no intention of letting him roam freely. I donned my costume, its weight familiar and reassuring, and stepped into the night. The rain had washed the air clean, but I could still catch the faint scent of the girl's torn shirt, a piece of fabric Jason had ripped during their encounter. It was my lead, and I followed it cautiously. The town lay silent, streets barren save for a few brave police cars cruising the darkened roads. A group of teenagers lingered on the outskirts, their nervous laughter barely masking their fear. They had no idea what they were tempting. The scent led me to a small house near the edge of town. I scoped the area, my senses on high alert, before slipping inside. The place felt abandoned, but the scent was strong. Suddenly, a blur of motion, a girl, her face pale with terror, lunged at me with a baseball bat. My instincts kicked in, and I caught the bat.
Why does she look like Samara Weaving?
Disarming her gently but firmly. Calm down, I said, keeping my voice steady. I'm not here to hurt you. It took time, but eventually, her panic ebbed, and she began to talk. She described Jason's attack, how her boyfriend had vanished, how she barely escaped. Her voice trembled, but beneath the fear was a flicker of determination. She wanted revenge, justice for her boyfriend and everyone Jason had taken. I outlined a plan, simple but dangerous.
Put your claws back in, Wolverine.
Luring Jason
Dude,
out
like...
while I took him down. She hesitated but agreed, the thought of ending the nightmare outweighing her fear. I left her with strict instructions to stay hidden until the moment came. The town streets were still lifeless as I made my way back to the forest, slipping past the few wandering patrols. When night fell again, I was ready. The girl waited in a clearing near the lake, trembling but resolute. I crouched in the shadows, my claws extended, every nerve on edge. Minutes passed like hours until I caught the first whiff of decay Jason sent. It was unmistakable. He was here. The air grew heavier. The forest.
Yeah, I mean, I would think, yeah, Jason's gonna smell like death, like a dead body. So yeah.
Glinting in the faint moonlight. The girl froze, fear rooting her in place. But I whispered sharply for her to stay down. She dropped to the ground just as Jason's lifeless eyes scanned the area. Then something unexpected.
What the fuck?
A whistling sound sliced through the air, and arrows thudded into the tree trunk beside me. Jason had noticed me. He was smarter than I'd anticipated. I came out of hiding, dodging the arrows.
He's shooting at... When has Jason ever shot arrows?
His heavy
Okay.
footsteps crushing twigs and leaves, and our fight began. He swung his machete with terrifying force, but I met him blow for blow.
Cut his hand off!
Flashed against his weapon, sparks flying as metal met adamantium. He was relentless, faster and stronger than before.
His blade should not be that strong.
But I held my ground. The forest around us seemed to shudder with the force of our battle, animals scattering in fear. Jason managed to grab me, lifting me into the air with inhuman strength. His grip was crushing, but I twisted free, landing hard on the ground. Before I could react, the girl, hiding nearby, seized her chance. She fired one of Jason's arrows, hitting him square in the back. Jason roared, momentarily distracted.
Roared?
Advantage. I lunged, landing a powerful punch that sent him staggering.
A punch?
The tide of the fight turned. I slashed at him with everything I had, each strike pushing him back.
Cut his head
Jason
off!
stumbled but kept coming.
Okay, you're over. This is...
Finally, with a roar, I delivered the decisive blow, my claws slicing clean through his head. His body collapsed, lifeless at last.
That would have been it.
Head rolling to a stop nearby. The girl approached cautiously, her face pale but resolute. Together, we built a massive fire in the clearing. Jason's body burned, the flames consuming the nightmare that had haunted the town for years. She took his mask and machete, a grim trophy to prove the ordeal was over. As dawn broke, I knew my time here was done. The girl returned to the town, her story bringing relief and hope to the people. I disappeared into the forest, the shadows swallowing me as I searched for my next path. Peace was a distant dream, but for now, the town was safe.
Alright. That was it. Alright, for whoever sent me this, I appreciate it. And I don't hate these type of stories, because I see these a lot, like, on shorts and stuff. Let's be real here. Okay? Let's be real. A fight between Wolverine and Jason Voorhees would end like that. There is no way, and I mean no way, in God green earth that there would be a stalemate of like 2 rounds between Wolverine and Jason. Logan's going for the head, that's it. Right there. It's no way. The fact that they had to build up to him just finally going for the head was ridiculous. Him saying that his adamantium claws was clinging with his machete. It just shows that no matter what, you forget that adamantium can go through tempered steel like butter. Jason's machete would have been cut, no problem, and he would have been just using his brutish strength. And then the whole concept of Jason using arrows. I'm trying to remember when the freak did Jason ever use arrows? I'm blanking out on that. That was weird. You were giving Jason a little too much intelligence up there, my boy. I had to laugh at just the images. Like at one point you got Logan here, and then he's got a beard, and then of course it's the AI stuff. It just cracks me up. Then he had 5 claws and 4 claws. 1 claw looked like it. I was. All right, come on now. Like overall, look, it's not bad, but Wolverine would dominate a fight with Jason. Plain and simple. It's plain and simple. Now, if it was me, I would have had a more lesser powered character from Marvel or DC do it, like Punisher or somebody like that. Somewhere where, okay, now it's a little bit more believable. But Wolverine, Jason, nah. That's ending like that. I wish I knew who sent me this, because I don't know who sent me. It's just an email with the link of this video, and I'm not gonna put out the email address because I'm not. That's not cool. So next time, guys, if you ever send me stuff through my personal email to look at, and please put your name and who you are. If you don't want to put your name, put your YouTube name, whatever. Just please do that, because I want to give you at least some credit. Outside of this, this was okay. It wasn't. It's just, it's just these type of stories. I'm always 50-50 on, because for someone who knows both of these characters too well, there's no freaking way that Logan would have trouble with Jason. Not even in a second, man. Not even a second. But outside of that, it was okay. It was okay. And again, being that I live in New York and I'm close to Jersey, I know there are no grizzly bears in Jersey. There are black bears, yes, but ain't no grizzlies in there. So, because Crystal Lake is in New Jersey, but I was trying to take the me being knowledgeable of these characters out of it, but outside of that, yeah, it was okay. But like I said, guys, next time, if you send me something via email, please, if it's a video you want me to check out, please put the link, yes, but put your name so I know who it is. But outside of that, guys, you guys take care. You guys tell me in the comments what did you think of this, and I will see you guys next time. Y'all take it easy. Deuces.